Hello kids, how are you today? Another story from Thomas and Friends with the name Madge. Madge is a small truck. Before we start reading the story, please subscribe in the channel, like the video and share it with your friends. And now, let the story begin. Up in the mountains, there are many railway tracks that the little narrow gauge engines run on. There are many roads for the cars and lorries too. Madge is a snub-nosed lorry. She drives up and down the mountains and valleys, delivering goods to the villages. Madge is a kind lorry. She likes to take care of everyone she meets, especially the narrow gauge engines. One morning, Mr. Percival, the thin controller, was telling Madge about a country show and engine rally to be held the next day. Renice and Scarloy were going to lead the rally. The engines must be clean and shiny. You must take them some soap and brushes, the thin controller told Madge. Madge was pleased. I'll deliver them right away, she smiled. Madge had an important job too. She was going to pull the brass band at the show, so she needed to look her best as well. I'll be the cleanest lorry you have ever seen, Madge told the thin controller. She honked her horn proudly and set off for the coal mine. When Madge arrived, Renice was very dirty from pulling trucks of coal. The crew took the soap and brushes and began scrubbing him for the engine rally. Madge stayed to make sure Renice was clean and shiny. Scrub his number and nameplate, she called. She waited until his whistle was washed and his boiler bands were buffed. There, you're almost ready for the rally, Madge smiled. Just remember to wash behind your buffers, she called as she drove away. Madge had to hurry. She drove faster and faster, but the mountain roads were dirty, and mud splashed her paintwork. Oh dear, she thought, I must get back in plenty of time. I have to be washed too. When Madge steered into the quarry, Scarloy was also very dirty from his morning's work. You're a real mucky buffers, said Madge. We'll have to work very hard to get you ready for the rally. Soon, Scarloy was covered in soapy bubbles. Madge stayed to watch. She wanted to make sure he would be really shiny. Scrub him from funnel to footplate, Madge told the crew. It took a long time, but at last, Scarloy was clean. You will look grand at the engine rally, she called. Just one more thing, wash behind your buffers. Now Madge really was late, and the mountain roads were long and winding. Madge raced to the village, down more dirt tracks and dusty roads. I hope I can get clean in time, she worried. When she reached the square, Renice and Scarloy had already arrived. Their paintwork gleamed and their thumbs glistened. You look grand, smiled the thin controller. He was very proud of his little engines. Then he saw Madge. She was filthy. The thin controller was cross. Oh dear, he said. You're very dirty. Don't worry, said Madge. I'll go and get washed and brushed right now. But mud had clogged up Madge's exhaust pipe. Suddenly, with a very loud bang, Madge backfired and sprayed mud all over Rinnie's and Scarloy. Madge saw the brass band arriving. Oh no, she worried. How will we all get clean in time? And I am the dirtiest of all. We could help. But you're dirty too, Madge moaned. The band is waiting for you, not us, chuffed Rinnie's. Madge gasped and knew she had to be extra clean and shiny to pull the brass band. It was time for her to get clean. Make sure you clean her wheel arcs, Rinnie said to the crew, and wash her windscreen, Scarloy shoved. Soon, Madge was sparkling. Thank you, she said. Now you have to get clean again too. She was about to tell the engines how to get extra clean and extra shiny. Then she saw what their crew were doing. They were scrubbing the engines, numbers and nameplates, washing whistles, buffing boiler bands, and polishing Rinnie's and Scarloy from their funnels to their footplates. My, what a wonderful job, laughed Madge. We know what to do because you helped us before, buffed Rinnie's kindly. Madge smiled. She felt very happy. Soon it was time for the country show and engine rally to begin. Madge sparkled and shone as she proudly pulled the brass band. You both look wonderful, Madge called to Rinnie's and Scarloy. The little engines blew their whistles proudly. So do you. Madge smiled, but she still wasn't sure whether they had washed behind their buffers.